Warning: the following contains explicit language and subject matter that may not be suitable for younger listeners, church folk, and people who enjoy kale smoothies.
Dear Lord Baby Jesus, or as our brothers to the south call you, Jesus, we thank you so much for this bountiful harvest of Domino's, KFC, and the always delicious Taco Bell. I just want to take time to say thank you for my family, my two beautiful, handsome, striking sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, or TR, as we call him. And, of course, my red-hot smoking wife, Carly, who's a stone-cold fox, who, if you were to rate her ass on 100, it would easily be a 94. Also want to thank you for my best friend and teammate, Cal Naughton Jr., who's got my back no matter what.
Shake and bake.
Dear Lord Baby Jesus, we also thank you for my wife's father, Chip. We hope that you can use your baby Jesus powers to heal him and his horrible leg. And it smells terrible, and the dogs are always bothering with it. Dear tiny infant Jesus.
Hey, sweetie, Jesus did grow up. You don't always have to call him baby. It's a bit odd and off-putting to pray to a baby.
Well, look, I like the Christmas Jesus best, and I'm saying grace. When you say grace, you can say it to grown-up Jesus or teenage Jesus or bearded Jesus or whoever you want.
You know what I want? I want you to do this grace good so that God will let us win tomorrow.
Dear tiny Jesus, your golden fleece diapers with your tiny little fat balled-up fist
He
pawing
was a man. He had a beard.
Plenty of places we can go.
Yeah, so we don't need to worry.
Cool.
All right. Welcome back to A Pod Amongst Men. I'm your host, Steve B. This is Coffee Break Conversations for the 21st Century.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Linda Richmond.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'll give you a topic.
In case you don't recognize that voice, I have a returning guest. Everybody welcome Mrs. Linda Richmond.
Thank you.
No, seriously, though, this is Brian P. My man, B. Ronio, came back. This is... Oh, why don't you say hi first?
Hi, folks.
Welcome back, sir.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Even though technically...
In the new studio.
We are doing our first recording in the new studio.
I'm so honored, man.
Hey, man, congratulations.
Yeah.
You breaking the cherry here.
Yeah, you brought out the big guns for this.
No, the guns are inside.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll
run in and get them.
There's a machete over there. There's an axe in that box. There's a few knives. There's, I got
Very
stuff
good.
just in case.
Very good.
And there's a hookah back there, which I'm thinking I should have set that up. But not for weed, like for like shisha, like it's like flavored tobacco.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
I've had hookah before.
Yeah, Max gave me that.
Oh, yeah, you're
Max.
like that wine connoisseur guy.
Yeah, my Russian friend. He's
Like a world traveler.
Yes, that's him.
I remember him.
I want to have him
He's a funny
on the
guy.
show. He's hilarious. And he's also happens to be one of the smartest guys I know.
Really?
Very, very intelligent guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he good at math, like Good Will Hunting?
No. More just like knowledgeable about the world and very, very vast wealth of knowledge.
That's good.
That's good. In that sick, slippery Cossack head of his.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, so by the time everybody's listening to this, it is going to be Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day.
Happy Turkey Day indeed. Hopefully you guys are actually having a happy Turkey Day. I know, a lot of people, they go with their families on Thanksgiving. It's a holiday thing. So we have like a big dinner. All the food comes out. Everybody shows up that you haven't seen since the year before. Maybe you don't particularly like them. I figured people are going to be listening to this maybe on the commute, maybe driving to a relative's house. So maybe we should keep it a little clean.
Yeah, we can do that.
Not really.
What's up, kids?
You hear that crackling?
I do.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
That's the turkey sizzling.
Yeah. Listen, we're getting this thing off the ground here, okay? Maybe a few technical difficulties tonight, but we'll make it work.
That's right.
Brian, I know you have a big family.
I do.
What was your routine always growing up for Thanksgiving?
So
specifically Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was definitely a lot different than it is now. A lot of the family was still together back then.
Yeah. Divorces and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of divorces. It's kind of a shame. But we used to go to, I think, 2 different family members' houses. And that was kind of the Thanksgiving Day routine. We'd go to my cousins, and we'd go there for a little bit, and then we'd end the trip at my Uncle Frank's.
So you went to multiple places in one day.
Multiple places,
How
yeah.
far away? It was like a long
Not
drive?
too bad. I think my cousin lived in Milltown, and I forget where my uncle lived, but not too far from Milltown. So yeah, we'd eat like twice, and that worked for me because I was an overweight child.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, you've seen the pictures. You know, I like mashed potatoes. I like gravy and turkey and no vegetables, so it was perfect for me, and all the dessert you could eat. But yeah, I mean, it was, from what I remember, you know, lots of family, everybody together, and it was always a good time. People have since gotten divorced, so things have changed, and my family, my immediate family, has grown. Obviously, my mom had a bunch of kids. Back then it was just me, and then obviously my dad, who lives in Pittsburgh, he had a bunch of kids with his family. Every now and then, I think like every other year, instead of staying at home, I'd go down to Pittsburgh, spend it with them. My dad got married to my stepmom, who's very religious, and they had a
Like Christian religious?
yeah, I forget
Like a
what.
real holy roller?
Yeah, it's good stuff. But they would have a giant like Thanksgiving Day feast with like their whole church community, and so I'd go down there for Thanksgiving, and that was always an experience because I would just like, you know, jump on the bandwagon, like, all right, yeah, praise Jesus, I love God, you know. And I'm not a super religious guy, but you know, I do consider myself spiritual, so I can get on the train, you know. So I would do that, and it's funny because all those families are now
Broken.
apart, like entirely.
Wow.
So I couldn't go to either one of those places now if I wanted to. So now my mom hosts Thanksgiving, and it's nice. You know, not as many family members make it out, obviously, but you know.
So did you guys do the same routine every year? Was it the same thing? Because
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much uncles and cousins. And,
but I mean, like, go to the same places, like the same family members would show up. Like, it was.
yeah.
Now, for me, Thanksgiving was the one holiday I never had a routine for. Like, we were always doing something different. Like,
Really?
sometimes we would have it at our house. Like, that was the one holiday we would host at our own house. But then sometimes we would like see my grandmother. Or
Well,
sometimes,
how big's your family? Like, how many people came over?
Well, listen, it's complicated because I have a very extended family. I
Sure.
have my mom's side and my stepdad's side. But then at the time when I still, you know, spoke to my biological father, you know, you met him.
Yep.
He has another big family, and then I have his wife's family, which is small, but you know, there's always something, and it was never the same thing. And I would have to bounce back and forth between my mom and my dad. One year my mom was doing this, but the next year she's doing that, and my dad was never in the same place. It was just like I never developed a routine for Thanksgiving. And then, you know, when I got older, I might go with like a girlfriend and like see like 3 members of her family.
Sure. Or have you ever done the Friendsgiving? That's like a huge thing
Yeah,
now.
we George always does one.
Does he?
He just had one on Saturday.
I don't think I've ever been invited to a Friendsgiving. That's not an open invitation. I don't want to be invited. I'm not saying. I'm just saying I don't think I've ever gotten an invitation to a Friendsgiving.
People are about to reach out to you online.
I don't want an invitation.
You better
Again,
specify.
Okay. I'm just saying, I was just making a statement like, oh, that's interesting. You know, he's never been invited to a Friendsgiving. Maybe he's an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that wasn't really around before.
Yeah, that is relatively new. Probably in the last, like 5 to 10 years, something like that.
I remember one Thanksgiving, me, Drew, and Colin just hung out, the 3 of us.
Nice.
Because I
Just like another day.
well, that year I was with a girl at the time, and she broke up with me the day before. And I was supposed to go to Thanksgiving with her family.
Oh.
I was like, man, you really didn't want me to go, huh? So we were like, fuck it. The Colin was single at the time, and Drew was single at the time. So we were like, why don't we just do something at Colin's house? Like we bought food. We just made it ourselves. We hung out. We drank.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty nice.
Emo Thanksgiving. I like it.
It was a little emo. That was a time when there was a lot of tight pants abound.
Sure. You know?
You know?
The Used was playing on repeat, you know? It's,
Yeah.
It's all good.
We kept hearing Thursday. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That was a good one though. It could have been really depressing. But it was Colin's idea, and he saved the whole thing because his family was in Florida or something.
And now they live in Florida.
Yeah, and
Right?
he's the only one that lives up here.
Poor guy.
I was like, what the fuck, man? They really like.
Why didn't he go to Florida with them? I mean, Jersey's great and all. I love Jersey, but it's so nice and warm in Florida, man.
The warmth is overrated, bro.
I'm good. You know what's overrated? Putting on like 9 jackets to step outside to get the mail in the winter. That's
Come on,
overrated. I'm so good.
That's
I'm so good.
over-exaggerated.
It's not. It's not. I'll get sick. If I don't, I gotta bundle up.
I'll get sick and I'll die and I won't get all my vitamins.
What if I get lost?
Yeah. I hear so many. I get into this argument with people all the time, almost once a week. Is that everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna move to Florida. Everybody wants to retire and move out of state.
I'm not saying I'm gonna go there. I'm just saying it's probably better.
I mean, is it relevant that I'm going there for Christmas?
Are you
Maybe.
really?
Yeah. It wasn't my plan.
Okay.
I bet he wanted to go down, so
Well,
we're
it
going to
makes
go down
sense.
and see his
Family's
family.
down there.
Yeah,
but
but
you have an open excuse to always go to Florida,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice.
It is.
It's like a second home for you.
Yeah, well, it literally is actually because her parents still own the house there. So we're actually getting it fixed up right now, so we're renting it out. But anyway, that's irrelevant. We're not flying though. We're driving.
Oof.
I've made that drive like 3 times before.
So, yeah, I've done it a couple times. I know I can get to the entrance of Florida roughly, I think, 18, 19 hours. That sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And
Actually, that sounds about right.
Right?
Because it takes about 23 without stopping. Mm-hmm. It's like 23 hours to go from here to there.
That was
Miami, at least.
That was my first road trip ever, was to Florida. It was a spontaneous road trip. Me and my buddy Steve.
I don't remember this.
Well, I think this was before we were friends. I was like 18.
You went with me before we were friends?
My other friend, Steve.
Oh, I didn't know you had 2 friends named Steve.
Cheech's Own, shout out.
Wait, he owns the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Is his last name Cheech?
No, it's Chiochi.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll buy that.
Apparently, people called him Cheech. Dude, I've been friends with that kid since we were like 14 years old. I've never heard one person call him Cheech, but apparently, like, that's it. He's like, oh, everyone calls me Cheech.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man.
Just like in my 8th grade yearbook, I gave myself the nickname Chico.
Yeah.
That literally no one in my life has ever called me before, then, or since.
Well, now it's going to happen. Chico.
Yeah, boy.
You kind of look like a Chico. I can see it.
I thought so, too.
Hey, Chico!
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm not really looking forward to the drive, but the last...
Why are you driving?
Because instead of buying plane tickets, we just do the drive because the whole family's going, all 5 of us.
Is it cheaper to do that when you have a group of 5 like that?
Absolutely. Because you can't.
Because you got to get like
it's so hard
6
to get
tanks
cheap.
of gas. I mean,
yeah, but it's still cheaper. 6 tanks of gas is like 2 tickets.
A little over $100.
It's like 2 tickets one way. It's more than $100 because we got the big SUV.
Oh, okay.
But there's usually it was me and Betty just driving in shifts. But now we have her dad is going to be with us, and he can drive.
Nice.
So that lightens the load quite a bit.
Sure.
But it's a rough drive, man.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is.
I was just coming back. The worst part of the trip is coming back, driving through Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland's bad, like that D.C. area.
But no, I'm not even talking about D.C. because every time I come back, like there's traffic there, so the GPS reroutes me somewhere else.
Okay.
But it's like, I didn't think Maryland was that big of a state. I'm not knocking the state. I'm just, like, the way we go, I feel like we're driving in Maryland for way too long.
I always felt that way about Virginia.
Virginia's long.
Yeah. Maryland, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. You know what it is? Like, especially when you're going home, it just, you're getting closer and closer, and then by the time you hit Maryland, you're only a state away,
Yeah, and you hit Delaware for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, or 20 seconds. You basically cross the bridge, and you're out of Delaware.
I remember me and Drew took a road trip to North Carolina years ago.
That's a good road trip. That's
That was
what,
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 to 10 hours, something like that, depending on where you're going.
We did it like 8 and change.
Yeah.
The first time I did that drive, I did it by myself on a Friday after work. And I drove straight through.
This is such man talk, by the way. It's just like, oh, where'd you go? And it take about that long? Oh, you take the 95 all the way down, man?
I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. Men love roads and car. I don't know.
We just brag. Oh, yeah, I drove 9 hours straight through. No sleep.
9 hours. I could top that right now, man.
I did 9 hours with pneumonia. I had driving pneumonia. But I left after work on a Friday. I had like an igloo cooler. I just filled it up with Red Bull and cigarettes.
You never look back.
Oh man! By the time I got there from just drinking so many Red Bulls, like I was like caffeinated out of my skull.
Yeah, sure.
That was rough.
Yeah, I bet.
But anyway, back to Thanksgiving.
You're like 2 breaths away from a heart attack.
Oh man, I hate driving. Like Thanksgiving, I used to drive. One year I was at my dad's house, and he lived down by EC, by Atlantic City.
Right.
That's a easy 2-hour drive right there.
Sure.
It's just making that trip twice in a day. It's a little obnoxious.
Yeah, definitely.
But what did I have here? So you're married now.
I am. So good.
Did we have the kid talk yet?
Yeah, man, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a little complicated for us. I actually did get permission to talk about this.
Oh, really?
Because it's got a.
Well, no, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
so.
no, I mean you brought it up. We might as well talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
She did specifically give me permission. Like this is okay. But yeah, no, we've definitely been talking about this for years and years. Our big thing, like, because I've wanted kids since, especially with her, even like long before we got married. Like I knew, like, oh, I want to be.
The second I saw her, I knew I wanted to impregnate her. No, sorry, Nicole. I don't mean to be crass.
I knew I wanted to be a dad, and obviously I still do. And to be honest with you, I don't know how it's going to happen at this point. She has like some like hormonal problems.
Yeah.
So we're going through that right now. We're trying to clear it up naturally. She's taking supplements and stuff. So it could be a long road ahead. I don't know. But we're definitely open to, adoption, things like that. I just, I want to be a dad. I want to be a parent. So does she. She wants to be a dad. And,
Tell her to work on the facial hair first.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'll get her there. Don't worry. But
I guess it'd be so. Just stop shaving your mustache, Nicole. It's fine.
Stop plucking those little baby hairs.
Just let it grow in fully.
Yeah, let it ride.
That's so mean, Nicole. I'm sorry. I'm only joking with you. She's a
sweetheart.
She is a really wonderful girl.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Excuse me, wonderful woman. That's a little demeaning.
She's the girl of my dreams. So yeah, it's gonna happen one day. I don't know when, and I don't know how. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's gonna happen naturally or if we're gonna adopt. Hopefully within the next year or so. That's certainly my goal. So we'll see how it plays out.
The reason I ask you that, aside from just being generally curious, do you want, like, is there stuff that you want to do, like traditions, like things you want to do, like family things, like, that you see in your head? You know what I mean? Like, I know there was things with my family that I said, oh, I'm never going to do this when I have a family, or I want to do XYZ when I have a family. And now that I have one, like I don't remember any of it, and I'm just trying not to make the same mistakes my parents made.
Sure.
Not that I'm not trying to knock them. Well, one of them, fuck him, but. Everything changes when you're in that position. So I find myself like tired randomly for no reason, and then it should be family time, but I'm like, I just want to sleep.
Sure.
But yeah, so is there things like you could see doing with the family?
Definitely. I want to start our own traditions and just be a tight family unit. I think I was craving that growing up. Not that I didn't have a great family. I did, I absolutely did. I had a very big family, and, it just, it definitely wasn't traditional in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
Having a stepdad is, it's a interesting dynamic, for sure. I really think that,
I had a stepdad, and it was I don't know. Did you guys butt heads a lot?
Definitely. He's a great guy, and we probably have like the best relationship now. Certainly not when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk much when I was a kid, to be honest with you. The parenting dynamic was a little strange. My mom kind of did most of the parenting. I don't know what she told him, but I feel like he felt like he necessarily wasn't like allowed to do anything.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I'm sure he felt weird. I'm sure it was, an awkward thing, but he definitely did the best he could. And I can tell you this, I had a very stable home life, and I was very much taken care of. So for that, I'll forever be indebted to him,
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, as far as feeling you have to step back a little bit as a step parent. I think I'm a little too far away from the mic. I'm gonna readjust.
Right on, man.
But no, I definitely get that. Like, even now, like I'm with Tyler, every day. There's pretty much never a day when I'm not with him, and I still feel like every time I might say, "Hey, stop that," or I'm trying to, basically reprimand him for something. It always seems like there's like a twinge in the back of my head where it's like, yo, take it easy. Like, don't get carried away here.
Right.
And not carried away, like, be mean with him, but it's like, hey, this is technically someone else's kid.
You don't want to take it too far.
Yeah.
You don't want to overstep your bounds.
See, it's tough because
I imagine you talk about that with your wife, though. Like,
yeah, and then one of the things I always say, I'm like, I'm his stepfather. Like, he's not my biological son, but I want to, I want him to be loved and cared for as if he was, my flesh and blood. But she even says, like you can't be half in, half out when it comes to being a parent. Like, it may feel a little weird, but it's what the kid needs.
right.
Like, he needs to feel like people actually give a shit about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's huge for a kid's development.
Definitely.
And it fucks with your psyche too. Like, anybody, like people who grow up feeling like abandoned by their own parents, like that's really damaging.
Yeah.
And some people are more resilient than others, and they learn and grow from that. But other people, it breaks them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it could be a tough thing to overcome. I know I just want to be a really supportive parent, like with whatever my kid's into. We always say like, oh, I don't understand kids these days, but like I want to try, whatever it is, because I know my kid is not going to be into the stuff that I'm into. I just feel like I know the kid's not even here yet.
listen, it may not be everything, but I'm sure there's going to be at least a couple things.
Right.
Like, listen, me and Tyler, Pokemon is our thing. We love Pokemon. Whatever. I mean, Marvel. Love the movies.
Well, you guys lucked out though, because you were into that growing up, and it's like coming back around like big time now.
Well, what we did when we bought this house, like I had money from selling the old one, so I could furnish the place, and I had a little bit of money to kind of mess around with.
Yep, you got the dollars. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but I got lucky with where I bought my house and how much I was able to sell it for. But yeah, so what we did is when the new Pokemon game came out from the Nintendo Switch, like, it comes in 2 different games.
Right.
So you only get part of it in one. So I bought both games, and I actually bought another Nintendo Switch for myself, so me and him can actually literally play against each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, we could play alongside one another. So, I mean, if I had more time, we could really get into it, but I haven't had a second to breathe in the last 2 weeks.
I'm sure. Yeah, moving's crazy.
Dude, I told my wife, I'm like, you better get real fucking comfortable in this house, because I'm not going through this again.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Ugh.
We refinanced not that long ago, and it more or less kind of feels the same without like moving furniture. And I'm just like, I never want to go through this again. This is horrendous. I hate it. I hate paperwork that I don't understand. I hate everything about it. I'm signing 1 million documents, and I'm just nodding my head with a stupid smile, like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what this means. Oh yeah.
John Mulaney, the comedian, you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He had
He's hilarious.
You see the one bit he was talking about, like buying a house. It's like a bunch of like the stupidest people ever making the biggest decisions of their lives.
That's exactly
and like
it.
they're going through the paperwork and saying, oh, for instance, here's your mortgage. Here's what you pay, for instance, in 2030. Like, 2030. That's not a real year. By that time, I'll be drinking moon juice and hanging out with President Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, that'd be great. A great day.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
He's not around anymore, is he?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. I don't think he died. We don't need to set that rumor on a pot amongst men.
Hey, I'm just saying, I didn't hear that he didn't die.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was always jealous of his hair when I was a kid. I remember looking at whatever freaking movie he was in, and being like, why does my hair not do that? Because I had this like big stupid poofy curly hair, and I never understood why it didn't like do what like the
part
other
in the middle.
Yeah, it didn't part in the middle, or it wasn't like wavy, and like I didn't understand that there were different types of hair. Like for whatever, no one sat me down and explained to me like, hey Brian, like this is some people have different types of hair. It's totally normal. It's cool. This is your hair. It sucks, but yeah, you got to work with it.
But I wanted to look like JTT's.
Yeah, no one explained that to me, so I used to style my hair. Like I used to create the part. And I would hairspray it and stuff, and it would just look so stupid.
Don't worry, I had the same thing. Like I would try to grow my hair out to make it long, like not like long like Lorenzo Lamas long, but like like
to create the effect.
Yeah, like a little shaggy.
Sure.
But I had that Italian wavy hair that just does not do whatever you want it to do. It's not going to do it.
That's right, man. It's not working. Not working for us.
Oh, what a mess.
We're so better off.
I know. Luckily, we're both bald now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we're just, I hated my hair when I had it. I couldn't do anything with it, so it's got to go.
So, let's get back on track.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Happy
Thanksgiving.
holidays.
I'm so thankful. But when you guys used to have, like, your family gatherings and stuff, did you ever have, like, family drama? Like, any fireworks?
Not that I can really remember. I mean, it was more or less just everybody exchanging pleasantries. Like, oh, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a year. There was really no, like, we didn't see each other often enough, I think, for there to be drama. You know what I mean? Like, if we saw, like, them more regularly, I'm sure we could get, like, a little more screwed up.
People be in each other's business.
Thankfully, it was just nice and pleasant. And it's just like, oh, it's good to see you, man. Like, let's have some turkey,
It feels like having dinner with strangers,
yeah,
basically.
but it's nice, It's a familiar, house you see once a year. There's a candle there. It's nice.
Yeah, a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins.
Yeah, sure. There's a ton of them.
Oh, I have the same thing. I have so many that I feel like some of them I just, after, all these like 30 years, I don't even know them.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely weird.
Like I see them like, oh yeah, like we're related. Like, oh, what's up, man?
Yeah. It's like you wish you were closer to these people, Like,
yeah. Well, that's, back in the day, families, when people, move out of the house, they don't go far. Like, people still live in the same town as their parents and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that don't happen anymore.
No. People are spread out.
Yeah.
People are spread out. It seems like everybody who moves out of New Jersey moves to a place where they can smoke weed legally.
You think so?
That's what, dude. It's like everyone goes to Colorado, and it's like, I know why you're going to Colorado, bro. Like, come on,
come on.
You're not fooling anybody, man.
I know you're not going to college.
Like, oh, I'm moving to Colorado. Oh, you like weed? Cool.
Yeah, I get it. Good for you, bro.
Good job.
Go live your life.
Yeah, nothing against people who like weed. I'm just saying, like, so you might as well carry a sign that says, "Hey, I like weed."
It's like, oh, so you're moving out there, huh? Just you and that big box of Bob Marley records?
Yeah, man. Enjoy yourself.
No, I feel like everybody from Jersey and New York moves to either North Carolina or Florida.
Really?
Especially
I get the Florida. I see a lot of Florida, a lot of Colorado, and I think that's about it. New York City, if that counts. Probably not.
Yeah, but you're still in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about people who like move away.
Yeah, like they gone.
I've seen more than just a few people move to North Carolina. And obviously, like, there's parts of South Florida that it's all transplants from New York and New Jersey. Yeah. It's insane.
Jersey drives people away, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's, people retire, then they can't afford the taxes here anymore without working.
It's an expensive state.
It's tough.
Sure is.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't live here if I wasn't so, like, heavily, like, implanted.
Very
like
deep roots here.
If I didn't lay down so many freaking roots, like, I don't know how it happened. Like, just overnight, I'm just like, I cannot leave if I wanted to.
I feel like it's something about this area that's like that. I don't know, because, like, I walk around, like, me and Betty will go places, like, locally, and I'll see, I might see, like, 4 or 5 people I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's less frequently now, but she was like, doesn't anybody ever leave this town? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I knew like 1 or 2 guys.
Maybe I'm just a popular guy. You ever think of that?
Do you ever think maybe people just like me?
Yeah. I have a podcast, like, duh.
You could ask both my listeners. Like, it's good.
Allison, not Drew.
Because he's made very clear on every episode he's on.
Yeah, I don't listen to this.
Hey, I don't listen to this bullshit show.
I don't know what else he does, though.
I don't know. He listens to, like, a cappella groups in his work truck.
He does have a very eclectic selection of music. I'll give him that.
Yeah, Drew, I mean, Well, whatever. He's not going to hear this, so fuck it.
I don't know why we're wasting airwaves. Allison's getting a kick out of this right now.
She's probably laughing.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to tell him.
She's probably laughing, listening to Hanson in the background.
Yeah.
Shout out to Allison. We know you're there. But no, Drew just likes like vocalists.
He does.
He's always like good, like very talented, like actually professional singers.
Yeah, it's exactly why he doesn't like my band. I think that's why he quit. Drew was originally in my band.
Oh, I think he told me that.
Yeah. That's another band Drew started and then left, and then it grew legs.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's famous for that.
Dude, I still see like stuff for like. Remember Aiden, the DJ we used to play with in Atlantic City?
Yeah, I saw him at my bachelor party, which was obviously not that long ago, like a couple years ago. He's doing well.
Yeah, I see him. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah.
But every so often I'll see him like post like a show flyer or something, and it's like him and Garden State Radio. I was like, ugh. And it's like there's only one person left from that band.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird.
It's definitely weird. Yeah.
Yeah, in case anybody doesn't know, me and Brian, we used to be in a cover band together. Needless to say, we're no longer there.
Nope.
I don't think either of us really left amicably.
Nah, not really. Both different circumstances, but we might as well have just, you know, up and quit at the same time.
You guys should have walked out with me, man.
Oh, it would have been good.
I was the
Would've
first
been
one.
good.
I was the first one to leave.
Yeah, you Jerry Maguired.
Who's coming with me?
No one did. Well, Drew did, kind of.
He waited a little while.
Yep.
But he did go.
Yep.
They really had to get you to go.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna quit. I still maintain that. I think I talk about it every freaking episode I'm on. We talk about this for a second
Because it hurts, man. It still hurts.
This wound is still fresh.
You cut me deep, boy. So, do you have like a favorite holiday? I mean, think of it like this. Every holiday has different traditions. We have different routines we do. Which one you think is really the best for you, in your opinion?
I like Halloween. I just like kind of the
aesthetic. Did you make a sexy Catwoman?
Yes. I like the aesthetics of it. I like horror movies, and it's just an excuse for me to watch more of them, even though my wife hates them.
Sounds familiar.
It's just an excuse, but like I like the theatrics of it. It's fun. Now that I own a home, I like to give out candy to the kiddos. Mm-hmm. This year we had a whole mishap, man. My wife and I couldn't be home, so we did the leave the candy out thing.
Yeah.
You ever do that? Like leave the candy bowl out with a sign, take two, please.
No,
right?
because I was a child once, and I know better.
I get that. I know that. I knew this was going to happen, Steve. Before, all right, listen. All right, I'm going to tell this like it is. All right, I knew this was going to happen. I'm not ignorant. All right, I get it. Kids are going to be kids. They're going to take the whole bowl of candy. I can accept that, right? I have cameras in my house, so I'm like, listen, if anyone does take all my candy, at least I'm going to have them on video. So for next year when I'm home, I can say, you get no candy. I blow up the picture. I say, this is you. You get no candy. You lose.
I honestly 100% believe that is what you would do.
Yeah, well, yeah, right?
Knowing you, that's not even an exaggeration.
So check it out. First, the first trick-or-treaters of the night, it's like 4:30. You would think it'd be like a precious little 4.5-year-old, Mm-hmm. It's a group of teenagers, and I'm just like, and they're not even dressed. They have like, the teenager costume, right? Which is like less than a costume.
And like a mask they bought at Party City.
I see this one kid on the camera, right? He approaches and he takes 2 pieces of candy like he should. All his stupid friends I could see off in the distance, and he's like, hey guys, come over here. There's like 13 of them. They all come, and then the camera goes blank, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing you see on the camera is the bowls are empty, and there's like 2 pieces of candy scattered on the ground, and the kids are gone. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, what are these kids using, like Wi-Fi jammers, these pre-criminals? Like, what's going on? So I finally solved the mystery. It took like weeks for me to figure this out. But my wife, like, she wanted to see the trick-or-treaters on the cameras, right? So the first activation that came up, she's trying to watch it live as it's recording. So the footage got all broken up. So we didn't actually get to see the theft, right? Which is kind of a shame. But
I was about to say, these kids are ingenious.
That's what I'm saying, right? But it's not the case. It's just, there was a little mishap with someone trying to access the camera live and the camera trying to record, and it got all jammed up. So We didn't get it on camera, the actual theft, but next year, like I said, I have them approaching, so I know who it is, right? And they will get toothbrushes in their Halloween.
Anybody
bags.
dressed up like the Incredible Hulk is getting effed next year.
Yeah. I wanted to be the good house with like the full candy bars and stuff, but I couldn't do that this year because I wasn't home. So they got the fun size. But yeah, it's probably my favorite holiday because
it's definitely my favorite. I see my old house, the one we just moved from.
Yeah,
the outside light didn't work, and the problem,
so nobody came.
So nobody would come.
Yeah,
I'd never had one trick or treater the whole time I was there.
You are an electrician. You could have probably fixed that.
And
that's a stupid problem for you to have.
You want the explanation?
My light didn't work. What do you do for a living?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
So, because I'm an electrician, I knew exactly what the problem was, and I knew exactly what it would take to fix it.
Oh yeah, it's
and
too much, too big a job.
I was unwilling to start cutting holes on the walls because there was a wire that was damaged somewhere.
Oh no!
And I found where the two spots. It was in between these two spots. Somewhere along the line, it was damaged, and the neutral was broken. So I had no neutral. I actually had power to it, but there's no neutral, so it wouldn't work. And I'm like, I'm not getting there. I'm not doing.
Gotta have a neutral.
Wire.
Gotta have a neutral.
Well, yeah, you kind of do.
So true.
But my father-in-law is an electrical engineer, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you just fix this?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, you go ahead. You let me know how it works out."
Be a fun little day project.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like I never tried.
Sure.
The problem was that I got into fixing it after I had done a bunch of work in the house.
Okay.
So I had a skim coat done on the walls, brand new paint.
Oh, you don't want to have to repatch all that stuff. Yeah. Open up a can of worms there.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need the light that bad.
Yeah, you could have got one of those solar powered lights.
I did. I got a one that runs on batteries.
Yeah.
The batteries lasted about 6 months, so I change it twice a year, no problem. But then eventually that kind of crapped out too.
Yeah, they all do. I just bought 8 of them from Bed Bath & Beyond, and they barely work.
Yeah. So that's the saga of my. It was like the whole mudroom, when you first walked in the house.
Yeah.
Everything in there was dead.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was just a mess.
So no Halloween trick or treaters for you.
I know.
But do you go out now because you got Tyler? So how do you?
So
he has to love Halloween. There's no way he doesn't.
Yeah, I love Halloween, but I feel like every year I'm always scrambling at the last minute.
Sure.
For a costume and all this stuff. And this year I actually had a legit a cool costume that I put thought into, and I actually took the time and got it together, and I didn't even get to go out.
Oh,
because Betty was out with Tyler and and other kids and their parents, their moms, her friends, kids and stuff, and they all went out, didn't wait for me.
Oh,
I was like, so I did all this work for this costume for nothing.
Are you gonna say what the costume was, or is it gonna be brought out next year?
I mentioned it
kept in secrecy
on the Halloween episode, but it was Nick Fury from Avengers.
Nope.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boy, this is not the show for you, man.
Jabberwocky? I don't know, man.
Yeah. But no, there was a part in one of the Captain America movies when he's kind of in hiding and he was wearing normal clothes. And I had that exact outfit. So I'm being bold. I just shaved my beard into a goatee.
Nice.
Which I did it for one night to go to a Halloween party, which I talked about on the show, and it was just a fail. But I had this goatee now. And I'm like, this looks retarded. This looks terrible, this goatee. I'm only doing it for the costume. And now, I have to walk around and exist like this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to shave it all off. I don't want it anymore.
A little premature Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It just looked douchey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I looked like my dad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably what it was.
Very, extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can see that. What do you think of my beard? I'm sporting a beard right now.
I'm digging it, man.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
I like having a beard.
It works with the sweater.
Isn't it weird that it's red? Not the sweater, my beard.
No,
I'm not a redhead.
But a lot of blonde guys generally get red beards.
My dad has this creepy little redheaded gene somewhere in him. He's not a redhead either, but he's got 3 redheaded kids, and he grows a red beard as well. I grow a red beard. It's so strange.
Well,
I bet I'm gonna have a redheaded kid now.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's your dad's nationality? What is he?
I think he's Polish.
You think?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not that close with my dad, to be honest with you.
Mm. See, I actually have a similar thing. I've heard different things throughout my life.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell to believe.
Yeah.
Like, at one point I heard we were part German. I was like, are you sure? Because you didn't say that the first time I asked you this question.
I've never felt any like strong ties to like any type of like Italian. You know what I mean? Like I've never had any.
That you didn't have like that culture growing up.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just kind of like a blank. Like, hey.
It's that kind of straightforward, like
Yeah.
white American
Oh
family.
God, so white. It was so white.
Yeah.
You know, I had nothing to latch onto but like my movies and my TV shows. You know, and music.
I had different cultural like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like it's different times that we kind of associated with different things. Like my dad's father, like he was very into being Polish. So I remember when I was a little kid, him and my grandmother, who was full like Sicilian. Like they used to go polka dancing, and I remember them taking me once or twice as a little kid.
I could see that. I could see you in the get up.
It seemed fun.
They put
as
you
a
in like
kid.
the suspenders and like.
Probably.
That's what I think of when I think of polka dancing. I think of like those shorts with like the white button up and the suspenders,
Lederhosen?
and like boots. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I thinking the wrong thing?
Yeah, it's not the right thing.
I don't know. I like to associate it with polka dancing. If someone invites me polka dancing, that's what I'm wearing.
It was weird. I just remember people like skipping all around the damn place. I'm like, oh, this guy's good.
All you had to do was skip.
Yeah, I can do that. I don't even need a partner.
All right, this is skanking.
Yeah. But yeah, so then when I got a little older, like then I started noticing like my grandmother, you know, she would do like Italian stuff sometimes, but being around my grandfather kind of got the Italian stuff got a little more suppressed. Mm-hmm. But then when my mom and my stepdad got together when I was in first grade, he's super Italian, like super duper Italian.
Oh yeah, Goodfellas.
Yeah, like that kind of Italian.
Nice.
And my mom is already half Italian anyway. So her mom, my grandmother's, they're a little more on like we call them Medigans, where it's like Americanized Italians.
Yeah.
But she's still, like, her mom was, like, I don't even think her mom spoke English. Mm-hmm. Like, her mom was very Italian. So it was still there.
Yeah.
So then, from then on, like, for the rest of my life, like, that was the one thing that that was the culture that kind of embraced our house. And
See, I had that a little bit in my family, but I never, like, latched onto it. Like, my grandpa, my mom's dad, he's definitely like very Italian. His last name's Smaltino. Mm-hmm. Half the family it's Smaltino, and the other half is Smaltini because it got lost like when they came over. From you know what I mean?
Ellis Island messed it up.
Yeah, but like they're legitimately in the same family, and some kept Smaltini, some kept Smaltino, so they're like super Italian. But I never like gravitated to it. I'm like, yeah, I like sauce. You know, I don't know.
See, now
cool.
in my family we called it gravy.
Oh, okay.
Pasta gravy.
I don't care.
A lot of people say I'm weird for that, but I'm like, nah. I mean, that was just what we called
There are
it.
two types of Italians. Some people call it gravy, some call it sauce, some don't care. That's where I am. Yeah, and also because I'm like really big into sauce. I love like a good Italian marinara sauce. So I know this. Some depending on where you live in Italy, some people put sugar in their sauce.
Yep.
And others do not. And there's a huge cultural divide amongst Italians. Do you put sugar in your sauce or do you not? I believe it has to do with Sicily. They either put sugar or they don't. But yeah, I'm a fan of no sugar, but I just don't.
See, I'm not gonna pretend like I really have an opinion either way, or that I'm that knowledgeable about.
Oh, see that?
the
Look at me
divide.
with the cultural.
I do know that. Like I know my mom used sugar, but not much.
Right,
But
they don't.
It's not, like,
That's
supposed
exactly
supposed to break up the acidity. Like there was
know.
like a reason for it.
Something, man.
Certain things, like I make it. There's a dish I make like with chicken, and it's got it's spicy, so there's a lot of pepper in it, a lot of garlic. There's I use a little bit of chili oil in there.
I know what you make.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Did you show me this dish?
Yes, I did.
So for the listeners that don't know, I think this is deserving of a little story. But when I first met Steve, I knew him as like the gym guy, the eating healthy guy. He's like, "Hey, it's me, Steve." That's how he talked. And he's like, "Hey, hey guys, look at me. I'm Steve. I eat healthy. All right, picking up a weight. All right."
I accept this.
So that's how I knew him. And I was going through a period in my life where I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to get in shape. I was what you would call, dare I say, skinny fat.
No, but you didn't have like fat on you. You just, you were thin. You were a skinny guy.
Yeah, but I had like, I was skinny fat, right? Like underneath t-shirts, like stuff I could see, stuff that like, that would bother me, right? And I ate horribly. Like I ate, just like fast food. I had no direction when it came to diet. So Steve, I went to Steve's house one day, and he got me on like a little diet plan. Showed me. Do you remember this?
I remember.
You were like,
that was
oh,
in my first apartment in Bradley Gardens.
You get this protein powder right here, and that was the biggest mistake you ever made in your life because it gave me really
how
horrible
sensitive
gas.
of a stomach you had.
Gave me the worst gas in the world.
Guy has a stomach of a six and a half month old.
Oh, it's so bad. I got a delicate tummy. But yeah, so you got me on board with that stuff and pretty much changed my life because I've stuck with it more or less.
You did better than I did.
Years and years, man. So and obviously I've picked up stuff along the way and figured things out with macros and.
But I've found that especially with like being healthy and weight loss stuff, it always takes one person to really like sit down and take the time to like go through stuff with you.
Oh yeah,
because that's what it took for me. There's
so much information online. If you just try and sit down and research, I mean, dude, you'll go down a rabbit hole. It's so hard to there's so many ways of going about it if you want to be healthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was a little bit overwhelming. So it was nice to sit down with you and just say, no, do this.
Yeah, well, it helps to have somebody also help you plan out your meals.
Right.
That was the biggest thing for me.
Right.
Like that was the thing that changed my whole.
But that's when
situation.
you showed me that one recipe. I think you said you got it out of like a Men's Health or something like that. But it was delicious, like chicken and like
chili chicken with basil.
Oh, it's delicious. With there was like a Uncle Ben's ready rice that you put, and then you put the chicken on top of it. So good. So
my family loves it. They absolutely.
You still
love
make it to this day?
Yeah.
I made it for Nicole once when we were dating. That was like I broke out my little chefy meal, because that's a
it looks fancy.
It does. It looks like you know what you're doing. You're getting like the chili paste or whatever it is, and you're just like chopping all kinds of peppers and stuff, and you're just like, yeah, all right, saute.
Well, I found the trick to that. I started watching YouTube videos on like instructions how to properly cut vegetables and how to properly cut chicken.
Oh,
and, like,
so you do it really fancy now.
Actual chef techniques with the knife.
Okay.
The problem is I don't cook enough to really get that
to go
that
fast
muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can cut. I know like cool techniques to cut certain things. Like now with the basil, instead of just ripping it by hand, I can do that. I forget that it was like a French word, but you take the leaves, each individual leaf, and you stack them up like 7 or 8, and then you press them down flat and you roll them real tight, and then you slice.
I've seen that.
Roll.
I've
so
seen
then
that
when you
done.
open it, it's like little ribbons of basil.
Oh,
it looks
beautiful.
really pretty.
Yep.
Requires a little bit of time, but I mean, it's all presentation.
It's the little things, man. It's the little things. I'm into it.
But that dish requires a little bit of sugar, and that breaks up the saltiness.
That I don't remember. I don't remember the sugar.
Yeah, there's
like just raw like sugar.
3 tablespoons. 3 teaspoons. I'm sorry, teaspoons.
I never put the raw sugar in my recipe,
so
I was on the other side.
I always put it in.
I was on the other side then.
It helps.
All right, duly noted. I feel like a little sweetness.
One of these days, I'm gonna cook in my new kitchen.
You haven't cooked yet?
Not a goddamn thing.
Have you guys been getting a lot of takeout?
Every single
Tyler's
night.
probably loving life.
Oh, yeah.
I loved takeout as a kid. I mean, I love it now. Don't get me wrong, but as a kid, oh god,
this guy is.
It was an event.
He's
it
like
was
made
an
of
event.
mac and cheese now.
Really?
That's all. And all he wants is either mac and cheese or grilled cheese.
Oh, those tapeworms are just loving life right now.
Oh my god, man! I told him today, I'm like, bro, this ain't gonna fly no more.
Nah, we're gonna eat healthy.
Yeah, you got to do something. But he's such a picky eater, man.
No, I was too, man. It's tough.
It's new to me because I never experienced that.
Were you not a picky eater growing up?
Not at all.
Really?
I mean, like,
were you made to eat your vegetables?
Listen, I was a kid. There was shit I didn't like. To this day, I refuse to eat peas or lima beans.
Sure.
I won't do it.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
And
I don't
every
blame
time
you.
my mom would make them, I'd be like, "Why do you do this? Like, what do you think?
Peas smell terrible.
Do you hate me that much? Like, because you know that I don't want to eat this. Like, so why are you doing this to me?"
Yeah. My mom babied me, and it's probably because she was a single parent, but I never had to eat my vegetables.
Really?
No. What Brian wanted, Brian got. I was a little sheltered baby boy. But I had a lot of chicken tenders, French fries,
Yeah, sounds familiar.
with the mac and cheeses, and the hamburgers. That was about it. And pizza,
But did you eat a lot, though?
Yes, that's hence why I was overweight as a
Well,
child.
because everything you just named is pretty much what my stepson will eat.
But he probably moves around more than I did.
Yeah, he's lean. He's not overweight in any way. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Well, I'm trying to remember when I started gaining weight because it wasn't forever. Like I was a skinny kid growing up until I want to say I was like I think 4th grade.
okay.
I started gaining weight, maybe the end of 3rd, and honestly, it at the time it felt like it was my life, but it really wasn't that long. I was overweight from about 4th grade to 8th grade. 8th grade, I lost all the weight, and it was a pretty big freaking deal for me because I was like.
But did you do something to lose the weight, or was it just
Yes,
like?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was like a big thing. It was a very transformative period of my life. When I was growing up, in addition to being very overweight for just those couple years, but when you're a kid, it feels like it's your life. It's the only thing. It feels like forever. It's the worst feeling in the world. I was very depressed. I had nobody to talk to about it. Nobody. My mom, God bless her, she's a wonderful woman, but she wasn't helping. Like she wasn't helping me. She didn't get it. She was honestly in denial about it. She said I was big boned. Like. She never called me fat, and I would always say like, Mom, I'm fat. Like I don't fit into clothes. The clothes don't look right on me. Like I was having all these issues, and she's like, you're not fat. You're just big boned. You're grown. You're a football player.
Is that?
I never
There's
played.
no such thing as big boned, and like
No.
There's
and when I
never-
lost all the weight, I was like, Mom, what happened to my big bones? Like where'd they go?
I lost a lot of bone mass here. Maybe I should
Yeah.
drink some milk.
But I had asthma growing up, and I was on all these asthma medications. It was ridiculous. I was sick all the time, just super unhealthy. And I remember 8th grade year, I was, I've always been interested in girls, but like especially 8th grade, I think that's when like I really started noticing, But like I thought I was weird in like 1st and 2nd grade for liking girls. I was like, am I supposed to not like these?
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. But But yeah, 8th grade, I got motivated and I decided that I was going to make a change. I had no idea how. I didn't know what to do, but I set up a couple basic rules for myself. And I figured with these rules that I put in place that I couldn't go wrong. And if I just waited it out over time, like it had to work. And those rules were, I could only, no more junk food. So I couldn't have chips. I couldn't have ice cream. I couldn't have anything that any normal person would consider to be junk. I couldn't have soda. I could only drink water or milk. And what else? What other rule
You
did I
came
have?
up with all this on your own as
Yeah,
an
I
eighth
did.
grader?
I did. And I couldn't have seconds at dinner. I knew I was eating too much. So I was like, I'm not going to stop eating what I'm eating. Like I didn't like know about diet food or eating healthy. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to keep eating the way I normally do. I'm just not going to overeat because I knew I was overeating. I'd have like 3 and 4 plates of dinner. I'd make myself 1 plate and I'd load it up. I'd make it good. I'd make a good plate because I'm like, this is my only one. So whatever fits on my plate, that's what I get. And if I'm hungry, oh well. And I did that and I wrote it out for the year. And I did like, I didn't know how to work out. So I did like sit-ups in my room because I was like, oh, I want abs, like whatever. So I was doing sit-ups in my room and then I had those rules with food. And if you see a picture from me from the start of 8th grade, I was at my heaviest, right? End of 8th grade, I'm bona fide skinny. It was the craziest thing. I was walking around in school. I'd had teachers that, they were teachers at the school, but they weren't mine. Like, they didn't know who I was. They would stop me in the hallway, and they'd be like, what did you do? Like, what happened?
Is everything okay at home?
Yeah, well, no. They were just like, that's amazing. Like, I couldn't, and then it was like...
Well, dude, I mean, number one, it is amazing for an 8th grader to actually take the initiative and have the discipline to stick to... Because it is technically a meal plan. I mean, not
Kind
to the
of.
extent that we would consider it now, but...
Yeah, there was not really a science to it. It was just like, I know I'm overeating, so I need to eat less, and I know like these snacks and candies and sugary sodas are not doing me any favors.
Yeah, but-
I know skinny people are not having this.
But what kind of 8th grader has the presence of mind to do that?
I think somebody who was very depressed for a very long time over how he looked, and every time I wanted to slip up and like have a cookie, because all my friends are having. If I'd go to sleepovers, like there'd be like a mom who'd be like, "You boys want ice cream?" And even then I'd be like, "No," because
I can't even do that now.
I would do these mental things where I'd just be like, I would go to some place in my head where I'd think about trying on clothes in the dressing room, and I would harness that feeling that I had when I was trying on those clothes, and I knew I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't like the way I looked, And I just used that. Like, I knew what that felt like. That feeling was very, very real, and it wasn't going away anytime soon. So that's what I used. And honestly, like, that was a huge turning point in my life. I mean, depression was gone. You know, I was at an all-time high, and I honestly, I've kept it up to this day. I've still used like techniques that I kind of developed for myself as an 8th grader, because I just didn't have the guidance, you know. And it wasn't. It's not a knock on my mom or my stepdad or anything like that, but they just weren't. They weren't doing anything to help me in that regard. Yeah. You know, I was really on my own, and obviously my real dad was in Pittsburgh, and you know, he wasn't there. So.
Wow, dude, I didn't know that. I didn't know it went that deep. Like, I knew that you said you were heavy when you were a kid. I figured it just came off from growing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't always get into it with people because it's, you know, it's kind of a personal story, and like I don't like talking about the time that like I was depressed and didn't want to be here anymore. You know,
but
like
you came out of it. You came out so much better for it. Like,
oh yeah,
and that was all on your own.
I wouldn't take that back for anything, man. Like, going through that, I feel like it made me who I am today. I know people always say that. It's like such an overused phrase, but it's so true. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, weight loss has that effect.
Yeah. Like, yeah, but for me, it wasn't just weight loss. Like, it was so much more than that. You know?
I'm saying, like, that's the thing that flicks a switch in people's heads. Yeah. People have been, like, you know, overweight for a while. Like you said, unhappy, depressed, you know, looking at themselves in clothes and just feeling like shit.
Yep.
And then when you actually... like, when you see the fruits of your labor, no pun intended, but, you know, you see all that hard work actually paid off, and you're standing there looking like, wow, like, I'm wearing these clothes, and I don't feel like I want to throw up from looking at myself.
Yeah, it was a fun time for me, man. Throughout the year, all my clothes just stopped fitting. Like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what was, like, my mom didn't believe me. She's like, how does it not fit? I'm like, it doesn't fit. Like, everything's too big. Like, we have to get I think I had to buy new clothes like 3 times that year. It was crazy. Wow. You know?
Yeah, I'm going the other direction right now.
I'm working my way up the ladder.
Yeah, you know, I figure a higher number on the waist size is better.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of trying to do that myself. I've been trying to gain weight since the summer. So
what are you doing to do it?
Just extra calories. That's really it. I mean, my workouts are pretty much the same. I still try and lift heavy as heavy as I can, without getting injured.
Yeah, see, that's the trick.
It's a huge trick.
Yeah,
because I've gotten injured more times than you know, I care to mention. But so yeah, I try and lift heavy, and you know, I've just been eating like crazy. So I've gained probably about like 15 pounds since the start of the summer. Probably gonna lose it all because it's kind of a long story, but I had a tooth pulled. Dude, I went to the dentist for just like a routine like cleaning, and you know, they take x-rays. And this freaking dentist comes to me, and she's like, all right, you know, everything's good, but yeah, I'm seeing internal resorption in this one tooth. I'm like,
that sounds made up.
I'm like, internal resorption? I'm like, I've never heard of such a thing. Lies. And she's like, no. She's like, you know, you're probably gonna have to lose this tooth. I'm like, I came in for a cleaning. What are you talking about? Losing a tooth? She's like, well, you could do a root canal, but she's like, that's just gonna delay the inevitable. I'm like, what is this? She's like, it's an anomaly. We don't know what causes it. It's nothing you did. You know, it's not. You're not like, you know, unkempt.
You're just going to be one of those guys with missing teeth.
With
try that. That was a tongue twister.
I like
God
it.
Damn. With missing teeth.
But no, what internal resorption is the tooth. They think, they don't know. They think it's caused by some kind of trauma that you've experienced to your tooth sometime in your life. Could have happened when you were a kid. You know, they don't know though. But the tooth essentially is just hollowing out from the inside out. So on the outside, it looks perfectly healthy, but it's just like a hole inside of it's growing bigger and bigger.
And one day it's just going to break.
Exactly. And they're like, if you don't take care of it now, you're going to bite into something one day, tooth's going to shatter, you know?
Yeah, you don't want that.
So I'm like, okay, that's great. I don't believe you. I'm going to get a second opinion. So I immediately called another dentist.
You want a second opinion? You're an asshole too.
I immediately called the second dentist and got a second opinion, and they told me the exact same thing. Like, it was like verbatim, and I'm just like, God, Jesus. So
now you go back to the first dentist. Like, all right, you were right.
well, no, I went with the second dentist because I like that better. They were
I was too ashamed.
they were just telling me like it is. The first people, they were just they were too cruel about it. And I had my wife with me for the second visit, so she was there to hold my hand and you know, talk me through it. But
you're not one of those guys that's like really bad with dentists, are you?
Oh God, man, do we have to talk about this? Yes,
because my wife, she's like literally like she's incapacitated. It's like a crippling fear.
Yeah, it's. I don't know that I'm crippled by it, but I have some things about myself, right? Like,
well,
you can't touch my eyes.
She's got a better reason than you. No matter what your reason is, hers is better.
Well, what is it?
Well, she grew up in Cuba. Like, they didn't have like the anesthetics to do like.
Oh, so she had like she has painful memories.
Yeah, like
yeah,
legit painful memories.
I'm just a baby. So
her reason is legit.
Yeah, I don't have any reason at all. I mean, maybe in a past life I was like tortured or something. I don't know. But you can't touch my eyes. So if I go to the eye doctor and they try and do simple things like put eye drops in your eyes, dude, like my whole body tenses up. I start like leaning back in the chair. My fist naturally just starts like forming like, you know, like I'm gonna punch somebody. And when I was a kid, they used to think it was cute, like, oh, you know, let's hold them down, you know. And as I got older, and especially now, nobody thinks it's cute anymore. And like sometimes I'll laugh it off. I'll give them warning every time. I'm like, listen, you know, I'm kind of a baby about this. You kind of just got to be gentle. We can develop tricks, you and me. We'll get through this, you know. But like,
listen, buddy, this is Lens Crafters, okay? Like, we don't have time for this.
So I always try and warn them, you know, and be a good guy. But and they never realize like how bad I am. But we get through it.
Oh, you were serious about that.
Yeah, and then I have a terrible gag reflex. So at the dentist, so like if they go in too far, like I can't do like biting down on things in the back, and like they'll just try like they put it in your mouth like it's so like normal, like oh it's no big deal. Like I do this with kids, like you know. And I'm just like, no, this is a big deal to me, man. Like, you're going to take it. I'm going to throw up all over this
oh,
room
you actually
right
going to vomit?
Well, I've never done it, but, like, I feel like I'm going to.
Oh,
or swallow the thing.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to, like,
yeah,
like gag.
It's really bad. But I get through it. And so, anyway, like 2 weeks ago, they pulled this tooth. They put a temporary crown in. Mm-hmm. Bet you can't even tell because it's one of my front teeth. But,
yeah, can't tell at all.
Can't tell. Yeah, it looks good. But I swear to God, they didn't tell me this prior, but he's like, okay, no solid foods for 3 months. I'm like, huh? And this is, dude, as he's pulling my tooth out, he's like, you can't have solid food. He's like, smoothies and soups because there's no bone there. And he's like, it's just for show. So,
and they just told you this for the first time as...
Yeah. And
my God.
I'm like, dude.
I would have been raising hell, dude.
I'm like, how am I going to gain weight with soup and smoothies? Like,
bro, I'm a cop. Like, I can't be in there drinking smoothies.
Yeah, well,
I am.
Make
fun of me.
Yeah, I am. And they do. Don't worry.
So, the 3 months isn't over yet?
No, it just started. I'm like 2 weeks in, dude.
Oh, God.
It's terrible. My wife, she's such a sweetheart. She made me like Jell-O and like all kinds of things. But, I can't sip with a straw even. Like, I have to, you know, like, it's bad.
When I had my wisdom teeth out, they said the same thing. Don't use a straw because the socket's still, like, open and loose, and it's...
Yeah, like, what is this? So, all the hard work I put in, like, dude, I had everything macroed out. Like, I put in some serious work to gain some, like, serious weight, you know? Because, you know, I don't have, like, the body image problems that I used to as a kid. But I still do every now and then, especially in my line of work. Like, I'm on the smaller side, and you wouldn't believe how many comments I get about my size. Like,
really?
It's kind of like it's totally inappropriate, and I'm amazed that so many strangers feel the need to tell me, like, you know, like, why aren't you bigger?
Yeah,
I'm just like, dude, you know,
in that line of work, it's tough, you know.
It is. That's why I try and stay in shape. You know, I'm not worried about what I look like on the outside to anybody because, you know, I know, you know, like, this is what I train for, you know, like, I'm mentally prepared. I'm physically prepared. You know, you're probably not, you know. So,
yeah, that's true. Most people aren't.
Yeah. But, you know, that's kind of how I get by. But
listen, it's going to be perfect on Thanksgiving. You have the cranberry sauce. You could be the one guy that actually eats it.
I don't like cranberry sauce.
I hate it.
I never did, man. I'm going to have mashed potatoes. That's it. mashed potatoes, and maybe I'll have like some delicate meat.
The stuffing is too much.
I could probably do stuffing. I've never been a stuffing guy either.
I love stuffing.
I have turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy. Like that's my Thanksgiving Day plate, and it's such like a little baby kid plate. I might as well sit at the kids table because my wife, she's not a picky eater at all. She'll put. I was always like envious of those people who could go to like a party where they're or like a big Thanksgiving celebration, and there'd be like 30 different food items, and their plate represents the eclectic nature of the menu, right? And mine just has like a ton of mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey. I feel like such a it sets me back like 10 years. all the work you do as an adult, like it all just goes out the window. The moment I make that plate, I'm just like, I
had that feeling every time I order a sandwich or a burger or something, and I take the tomatoes off.
Yeah, you're just like,
because I'll eat something with tomatoes.
Turn in my adult card for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, but sometimes I just have that feeling. You know what? I don't want them today, and I have to take them off. So there's just like 2 like soggy tomatoes on the plate when the waiter comes to pick it up.
Well, tomatoes are a tricky thing, man. Like honestly, a lot of people have tomatoes when they really shouldn't be having them, because when you have like a really perfectly ripe tomato, it should be like an experience. It should be so tasty and delicious. And most tomatoes, they're not served like that. Like people have tomatoes and everything, and they're just like bleh, it's fine. Yeah. But I've had a couple tomatoes in my life, like where they were just like, dude, this is outstanding. Like, have you ever had a tomato?
Like an Italian restaurant, you have tomato and mozzarella.
Oh, I love that stuff. Yeah, that's good.
You ain't seeing that this Thanksgiving.
No way.
Maybe my family, you might.
Yeah,
we're having it here. We got the whole setup. We ordered it from Whole Foods. You get the turkey, the mashed potatoes.
My wife used to work for Whole Foods, and she was in charge. She was the catering manager.
Well, so, they're not like bringing it here, but
No, you go pick it up, dude. I'm very familiar with this.
Okay.
See, Nicole should have came today because she would have been able to chime in on this. She was the catering supervisor at Whole Foods for like 3 years, so that was like her deal. She did the like the holiday table. You go there. Yep. Obviously, now you're familiar. You go there and you plan your whole menu. It's a whole thing, So that was like her bag.
We did it last year, and it was really good.
It's great, dude. They do a phenomenal job.
I was really surprised how good it was.
Great turkey. Have you ever gotten their brisket?
No.
They have great brisket.
Listen,
it's like a red wine braised brisket. It's interesting.
I'm always iffy with eating from Whole Foods after what happened when you and I ate at Whole Foods in Boston.
What happened?
I
don't remember. That's what caused it? I remember you sharded.
Yeah.
I don't remember the cause of. I just thought that might have been like,
that was
happy accident, whatever.
That was Whole Foods.
Not really a happy accident, but
yeah, it was not a
funny,
happy accident.
So I guess it's happy in that regard. But yeah, I didn't realize it was after Whole Foods. What did you get?
Yep.
What'd you eat?
I don't even know.
It was from the hot bar,
it's like that was when me and you were like the healthy ones in the band.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Whole Foods and we're gonna eat clean this trip.
Yeah, we're cool.
We're playing in Boston for the whole weekend. We're not gonna eat shit the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, and well, we all know how that worked out now.
Yep.
But let's
you got a new pair of pants, right? That's how it worked out. Yeah.
Let me go buy new underpants.
Yeah. Underpants.
Underpantsy. That's from The Toast of London. It's one of my favorite shows. It's an English show. It's really, really stupid, but that's probably why I like it.
The only English show I'm familiar with is Monty Python, of course, and Father Ted.
Yeah, no, this is more like modern.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's end it here because it's already
Brits.
It's getting late, and I'm sure you have work. You have work tomorrow?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Well, I do.
Okay.
I'm tired. Sorry, guys. This is all you're getting tonight, dude. Thanks for coming.
Oh,
I love having you here.
It's my pleasure.
It's always I could just wind you up and let you go.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. I'm
very
here,
easy.
A little wind up toy. Yeah. What's this? A podcast? All right, cool, man.
Yeah. So I don't ever tell you about the time back in '76. Me and old Clavis Backbone are playing a show down in New Orleans.
Oh, bass player. Okay, all right. So
All right, but seriously though, I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, you as well, man. I was honored to be here for the first garage podcast.
This is the first podcast of many to come in this old Stew studio.
I love it.
I'm thinking that's going to be the name of this place.
Stew Studio.
All right, but anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. Don't take any chances. Make a few bad decisions. Why not?
Right.
But You know where to find us. We're on APodAmongstMen at gmail.com. APodAmongstMen on Instagram. Hit us up, DM us, email us with any comments, concerns, suggestions, whatever you got. And you know where to listen. Obviously, you're listening now, but if you don't already know, you can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and wherever else you get your goddamn podcasts. So, Brian, again, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And listeners, we'll see you next time.
So long.
Peace. Happy Thanksgiving.